Stephen King has crafted one of literature's most intricate and expansive fictional universes, connecting dozens of novels and short stories through subtle threads and overt references. At the center of this vast tapestry stands Gan, the supreme creator deity whose existence underpins the entire cosmology of King's work. Though rarely appearing directly, Gan's presence reverberates throughout the multiverse, particularly within the Dark Tower series, King's magnum opus. This profound cosmic entity represents the ultimate creative force and serves as the foundation upon which all of King's interconnected stories rest. Gan's influence extends across dimensions, realities, and narratives, creating a complex metaphysical framework that gives depth and meaning to King's literary cosmos. Let's untangle this mysterious godlike being of the Stephen King universe. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. The origin and nature of Gan. Gan emerged from the Prim, a primordial magical sea of creation that existed before anything else. As the animating spirit of the Dark Tower, Gan represents order, life, and purpose, concepts collectively known as the White in King's mythology. Unlike traditional monotheistic deities, Gan exists both as a conscious entity and as the physical manifestation of the tower itself, making him simultaneously transcendent and immanent. According to the cosmology established in the Dark Tower series, Gan spun the physical universe from the magical waters dripping from his navel. This act of creation established not just a single reality, but an infinite multiverse of parallel dimensions. Gan then set 6 magnetic beams in place to maintain the alignment of time, space, size, and dimension across this vast array of realities. With Gan sitting at the center of this world web, he sang the rocks, mountains, and trees into existence, essentially singing the song of creation itself. Gan's nature is inherently mysterious and beyond complete comprehension, even within the context of King's fiction. As a being that transcends transcension itself, Gan exists beyond conventional notions of space, time, and even conceptual frameworks. In the mythology of the Dark Tower, Gan encompasses everything while simultaneously being infinitely larger than everything, bound by nothing, not even by the limitations of logic or physical laws. Gan and the Dark Tower. The relationship between Gan and the Dark Tower represents one of the most fascinating aspects of King's cosmology. The Dark Tower is not merely a structure created by Gan, it is the physical embodiment of Gan himself. This tower stands at the nexus of all realities, serving as the central axis around which King's entire multiverse rotates. The Dark Tower's structure reflects the infinitely recursive nature of Gan's creation. Each level of the tower contains infinite universes, with each subsequent level being infinitely larger than the one below it. Within these universes, atoms contain their own infinite universes, with those atoms containing further infinite universes in an endless cycle. The tower itself rises infinitely high, suggesting the boundless nature of Gan's creative power. This concept extends even further when considering that each universe in the multiverse has its own Dark Tower, though all are connected to the primary tower in the central universe. Through this structure, Gan maintains the integrity of all existence, with the tower serving as both the physical manifestation of creative power and the structural support for the entire multiverse. The creation of the multiverse. Gan's act of creation established a multiverse of staggering complexity. Rather than crafting a single universe, Gan created multiple parallel realities, understanding that one world was not large enough to contain all possible manifestations of life and experience. This multiverse structure allows for infinite variations and possibilities, all stemming from Gan's original creative impulse. The resulting multiverse operates according to certain principles established by Gan. The 6 magnetic beams maintain alignment across realities, with each reality being a reflection or mirror of others while maintaining unique characteristics. Between these dimensions lie the Todesh spaces, a spatial voids of darkness that serve as the boundaries between realities. The scale of this creation defies conventional understanding. As described in The Gunslinger, the gap between each universe is comparable to a grain of sand on a beach, an atom on a blade of grass, or an infinite of gnats, with this regression continuing infinitely. Creation rises not just to one infinity, but to an infinite number of infinities, reflecting the boundless nature of Gan's creative power. Gan's relationship with other cosmic entities. Within King's cosmology, Gan exists in relationship with other powerful entities, forming a complex metaphysical ecosystem. Most notably, Gan has an adversarial relationship with Merlin, another powerful creature from the Prim, who represents the outer dark, chaos, death, and randomness. In direct opposition to Gan's ordered creation, this relationship can be understood as a cosmic triad consisting of a thesis, Gan representing order, an antithesis, Merlin representing chaos, and a synthesis that results from their interaction. This synthesis manifests in the form of the Crimson King, a being of dual heritage who seeks to destroy Gan's creation. Unlike the traditional Abrahamic relationship between God and Satan, where Satan is a fallen angel created by God, Merlin is not Gan's creation, but a separate entity from the same primordial source. This suggests that Gan, while immensely powerful, does not have absolute dominion over all aspects of existence. The Crimson King, as a product of both Gan and Merlin's influences, occupies a unique position in this cosmic hierarchy, partially bound by Gan's laws, but also possessing qualities that transcend Gan's direct control. Other significant entities in relation to Gan include the various guardians of the beam, such as the turtle, Maturin, who rose from the Prim and helped maintain the integrity of Gan's creation. These guardians serve as intermediaries between Gan and the various worlds of the multiverse, each protecting one of the beams that support the Dark Tower. Manifestations of Gan in Stephen King's works. While Gan rarely appears directly in King's narratives, his influence manifests in various ways throughout the author's works. Perhaps the most explicit manifestation occurs in the Dark Tower series itself, where Gan's presence is felt through the concept of Ka, a force similar to fate or destiny that guides the characters toward their ultimate confrontation with the Tower. In It, one of King's most celebrated novels, Gan appears to intervene indirectly. When Bill Denbrough confronts the cosmic entity Pennywise, he senses a presence even larger and stronger than the turtle, one of the guardians of the beam. This presence is strongly implied to be Gan himself, lending aid to the Losers Club in their battle against It. This intervention makes sense within King's cosmology, as Gan has a vested interest in preserving the natural order against chaotic forces. Additionally, Gan's influence appears in the novel Insomnia, where he seems to guide events to protect Patrick Danville, a boy prophesied to play a crucial role in preserving the Dark Tower. By ensuring Danville's survival, Gan takes an active role in safeguarding his creation, demonstrating that despite his cosmic scale, he remains invested in specific events that affect the integrity of the multiverse. Perhaps most metafictionally, Gan manifests through the character of Stephen King himself, who appears as a character in the Dark Tower series. Within the narrative, King serves as a conduit for Gan's creative power, essentially writing the story of the Dark Tower into existence. This creates a fascinating recursive loop, where Gan creates King, who then writes about Gan, who creates King, and so on infinitely. Gan's role in the Dark Tower series. Throughout the Dark Tower series, Gan's role evolves from a distant cosmic force to a directly relevant entity, central to the quest of Roland Deschain and his quartet. Roland's journey to the Tower is ultimately a journey to Gan himself, as the Tower represents Gan's physical manifestation. The entire conflict driving the series, the attempt by the Crimson King to destroy the beams and bring down the Tower, represents an existential threat to Gan's creation. By weakening the beams, the Crimson King seeks to destroy the Tower, which would result in the collapse of all realities and potentially allow him to rule over the resulting darkness. Gan's influence appears throughout Roland's journey, particularly through the concept of Ka, which repeatedly brings together Roland's quartet at precisely the right moments. This suggests that Gan actively works to counter the Crimson King's destructive efforts by assembling the group of individuals capable of stopping him. The significance of of Gan becomes even more apparent in the later books of the series, when it is revealed that Stephen King, as a character within the narrative, is essential to completing the story of the Tower. By saving King from death, Rowland ensures that the story of the Tower will be written, thereby preserving Gan's creation through the act of storytelling itself. This metafictional twist emphasizes the idea that creation through narrative is itself a manifestation of Gan's power. Theological and philosophical aspects of Gan. Gan's nature raises profound theological and philosophical questions within King's fiction. While drawing inspiration from various religious traditions, particularly Christianity, King creates a deity who transcends traditional theological frameworks while incorporating elements from them. Like the Abrahamic god, Gan is a creator who establishes order from chaos. However, unlike traditional monotheistic conceptions, Gan is not omnipotent in the absolute sense. He faces opposition from other cosmic entities and requires assistance from mortals to preserve his creation. This suggests a more nuanced view of divinity, one where even gods have limitations and exist within relationships of cosmic interdependence. Philosophically, Gan embodies concepts of order, purpose, and meaning, collectively represented as the White in King's mythology. This stands in contrast to the Outer Dark, which represents chaos, randomness, and nihilism. The conflict between these forces reflects fundamental philosophical questions about the nature of existence. Is there inherent order and meaning to the universe, or is everything ultimately random and purposeless? King's portrayal of Gan offers a tentative answer to these questions, suggesting that while the universe contains both order and chaos, the creative principle, Gan, provides a foundation for meaning. However, this meaning requires active participation from conscious beings to be maintained, as evidenced by Rowland's quest to save the Tower. Gan's influence beyond the Dark Tower. While Gan features most prominently in the Dark Tower series, his influence extends throughout King's literary universe. Many of King's works that seem unconnected to the Dark Tower actually contain subtle references to the larger cosmology overseen by Gan. For instance, in The Stand, the conflict between Mother Abigail and Randall Flagg can be understood as a manifestation of the larger cosmic battle between forces aligned with Gan, the White, and those aligned with chaos. Though neither Mother Abigail nor Flagg fully understands the source of their powers, they both potentially draw from the same cosmic wellspring, with Mother Abigail channeling Gan's creative force, while Flagg, who appears in various forms throughout King's works, including as Walter O'Dim in The Dark Tower, represents opposing chaotic forces. Similarly, in works like Insomnia and Black House, characters and events connect directly to the larger struggle to preserve the Dark Tower, suggesting Gan's unseen hand guiding events across multiple narratives. Even seemingly standalone novels like The Shining or Carrie can be understood as taking place within Gan's multiverse, with the supernatural elements potentially drawing power from the fundamental forces established by Gan's creation. This interconnectivity highlights one of the most remarkable aspects of King's fiction, the sense that all his stories, regardless of their apparent differences, occur within a coherent cosmological framework overseen by Gan. This creates a meta-narrative that spans decades of King's writing, with Gan serving as the unifying principle that binds everything together. Gan in adaptations. While Gan has not featured prominently in adaptations of King's work, recent developments suggest this may change. The 2017 film adaptation of The Dark Tower received significant criticism for its deviation from the source material and its failure to capture the complex cosmology established in the books, including the role of Gan. However, in February 2025, Stephen King confirmed his involvement with Mike Flanagan's upcoming adaptation of The Dark Tower. Flanagan, who has previously adapted King's works like Gerald's Game and Dr. Sleep to critical acclaim, has promised to remain faithful to the source material. While King clarified he is not involved in the writing process, his participation suggests a desire to ensure the adaptation respects the integrity of the original narrative, including its cosmic elements. Flanagan's commitment to honouring King's vision suggests that Gan and the complex cosmology of The Dark Tower may finally receive a faithful adaptation. Given Flanagan's track track record with King adaptations and his stated reverence for the Dark Tower as perfect in its original form, there is reason for optimism that Gan's role in the multiverse will be accurately portrayed in this forthcoming adaptation. As readers continue to explore King's expansive literary universe, Gan remains at its center, an enigmatic, powerful presence that gives cohesion and meaning to the countless narratives that comprise King's remarkable body of work. In Gan, King has created not just a deity, but a metaphysical framework for understanding the relationship between creation, creator, and the endless stories that connect them across the infinite expanse of the multiverse. And this is where our video ends. If you liked our take on Gan, drop a subs for us. We really appreciate it. Stay with for more awesome Stephen King and other fictional content as the maestro. Stephen King says, "Fiction is the truth inside the lie." And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.